We are back with Eric from Davis Tool Systems, and I wanted to kind of blow his mind using his tool on something of this nature. This is, if you go online, this bench is going from anywhere from $24,000 to $47,000 on first dibs. We all know what that means. It is overpriced on there a little bit, but I wanted to show that we will use this system on pieces of this stature. This is solid rosewood. We're not going to hurt it with any of the tools, but there are precautions that you need to take when using a metal attachment on a wood surface. So, Eric.
All right, so I'm on the clock and I'm on the gun here. So I want to be able to show, first of all, this is our scraper sander. This is metal. This is a hard-on, very hard metal surface, and I've added adhesive hook. This acts like a sponge almost. It's subtle, but it's still hard. And when I come around this all the way around like that, now I've got, would you call that soft enough right there?
Yeah, it's not hard. It's got a little cushion to it.
And at 180 grit, this is the Grip 360 right here. This is something that, we talked about. This is in free rotation, and I could come back and just go this way like this, and you can see that I'm able to displace my hands from trying to get something down in there. And this is just manual tool, right?
Yep.
And I'm in free rotation, so now my repetitive stresses are less because I'm going back and forth.
Yep.
And you can see how that is gumming it up.
Yep.
Pretty simple. You just pop that off again and just keep wrapping it around as you wish.
And that's rosewood. So rosewood is really oily wood, and this is what it's going to do. Teak will do this too.
Yeah.
Different species. Solid's going to do this way more. That's why I did that in a matter of seconds, for sure.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So now we're just going to say this, while this is a beautiful piece and nobody wants to rush through anything, nobody's rushing through anything when you're using a tool system that is designed to give you the option of speed, agility, and everything else.
And for precision, really.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So this is 800 strokes per minute, okay? Yeah. Right here. There's a pivotal head. There it is there. And now I'm going to put it into free rotation. And so now you can see that I'm able to do just about anything. In this case, I'm going to pop it back down into 90 degree because I'm trying to do this ergonomically, right? So here we are. I'm going to do, this is across the grain, but what we're going to do is I'm just going to get all the way over here, about almost going to touch this edge, and then I'm going to come back, okay? And I'm going to just leave that there so you can see that as well, okay? The word of note, look at that. It's a scraper sander. You want me to bing on this? No. You always start getting in first, and this has got a soft start. It starts out real slow, and then it gets to speed. And right now, at 1, it's too slow, so I'm going to hit it up to about, I'm going to call it 4. That's probably the right one. I'm not going to go down too far. I'm not going to be up too high. I don't want the scraper to hit, so I'm just going to get it like this.
Doing that is going to get some of the sawdust to fall down too.
Exactly.
By going
so I'm letting this. I'm letting
Yep.
the sawdust come down. You can see how this will cake it up pretty quickly, and that's a brush, wire brush, usually brass wire brush. You can pull that off.
Swap the paper, like we were saying
swap
earlier.
out the paper or everything,
or then the different kind of paper.
But you can see that we've got it to this point right here. But let's see the problem. No. So here we're going to go. And we're just going to add a little bit of length to this. And this is our sanding bar. We have in the kit a rasp sander combo where it's actually a rasp on one side and the adhesive hook on the other. But we also have, this is going to be another part of that game. And we have the ability to connect it to our damping handle over here. But we're just going to solve this problem right here. Okay, so I'm going to put it into fixed position this time because I do see the logic, and I'm going to start while I'm in there. And so here we are. I'm just going to get it at 4. I'm going to touch it just a bit. I'm going to keep an eye on it. I started at 4. You can see how that, look at that. It's almost done right there, right? And now I'm going to do this side over here. And, I'm just keeping an eye on it. So I'm going to do, if I were doing this for Aaron, I would start really slow. I would be very careful with this. I'm going to make sure I don't round over any edges here or round over this up there. Yeah. You want to take it slow and deliberate actions. Yeah. Once I've got to a point where I'm comfortable with it and I'm like, let's get this thing done. Here I'm at 6 right now, and this is just so you can see it. There you have it. In that short amount of time, I was able to get all of this right here on both sides, and I can keep going at it. I can keep having fun. But like he says, the rosewood is a problematic. Yeah. And which one is the real problem? You doing this by hand and having to have arms, shoulders? If you hurt yourself doing 100 slats like this, how much is it if you got a timeline for this client to be out of business for the next 3 days because you're in the hospital or you're laid up with soreness? Yeah. That's a real concern for most businesses, I think. So give yourself the option, flexibility of fixed or free rotation, 800 to 3,000 strokes. And if you are still not sure, you just take it to the Grip 360 and you be extremely careful hand doing it. So we have a little bit of everything. Yeah.
And I see one more plan or one more thing that you could use it for. So it's just say you build like your kitchen doors that you have at home and you forgot to sand it before taking it off the table saw and you assembled it. Uh-oh, I forgot to hit all those mill marks. I'm looking here on this piece right here. There are mill marks still from the factory on it. You can see it. Yeah. You can see the sawmill marks. So if you screw up and you forget something, even you're building it, you put it together and you realize you screwed up, this would be ideal to getting all those little mill marks out, which I see them on a few, but the one right here has got quite a few.
Clear, yeah.
You can see it going all the way down from where the table saw cut down it.
That reminds me of an interesting situation I saw on the internet. Blacktail Studio, he had Cam Anderson. Yep. He had a table that he did, and it was the exact same thing. He glued it up, and then he saw that the glue came out, and he needed to sand it out. It's the exact same thing that you're talking about. Yeah. It's you see something and you're like, I'm a perfectionist. This is a $32,000.
How do you get under this thing? Yeah.
This client's got something for me, and I'm not gonna disappoint.
Well, like this bench and like the stuff that Cam does.
Yeah.
I mean, you hear $30,000 for a table that he built. So you have some of those epoxy pours, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Something of this beauty, which belongs in a museum.
Yes.
You want to make sure it is perfect. And that's what we're known for here at Moore's Refinishing, is to have perfection on every job. We try to restore it top, bottom, inside out. Spots that you don't even see as a homeowner, we try to restore it because that way we know it's done right. And I said, it doesn't matter if it's a priceless piece of art like this or grandma's old furniture. It doesn't matter to us. We want it back to perfect for every single customer. Doesn't matter what the value of the piece itself is. Treat every piece like it's something of this nature. Yeah. And you'll never have to earn business again. It'll just find you. You'll get to that next level, and customers will refer you unlike ever before. I know it had done it for me here.
Yeah, and I think when we all add to the idea that we are going to make something a heirloom or a generational or even a masterpiece, if you will, and you're going to work on that. You're going to want every tool in the house to get you to the next level, and that's what this is. It's just another ergonomic connections system. We talk about all different ways of working with tools. This is just a new ergonomic way, and we have a better connection system that gives you more lateral forces and horizontal forces on any object, And of course, we can make them as big or as small as we want. This particular one is our 50 millimeter scraper sander. So if I wanted to, I could just do the same thing and I would have more contact surface across this. Yeah. I could make this as large as I want and I would still have that nice extra tip, yeah.
Well, the steel. The steel that's used
is there,
super strong. It's not going to bend or flex, kind of like the.
That's it. You wouldn't want to put something
Yeah.
flexing on here because you're going to round over an edge if it flexes. So that's one of the reasons we put 3 millimeters thick of 4140 steel.
What if it had the sawtooths on the side and you have the sandpaper on it, and you get it a little too close to that edge? It's going to start cutting down into that rosewood, which would not be good for the refinisher.
Yeah, that'd be a bad day, I think.
That's why we won't do it here. That's why we've stuck with old school traditional stuff. Hand sanding. Yes, it abuses our hands, but there was never a tool like this to add to our to our arsenal of creative tools here in the shop. Ivan and I have created a lot of little jigs, tools, hand sanding parts like blocks, whatever it is. We've created all of them here at the shop. And now it's like we can add a little bit extra by putting some holes in it, some tape, and adding it to either the hand sanding tool or the machine itself, the Tango 360 itself.
Absolutely, and I want to make this point is this is what the sanding bar looks like without anything on it, without adhesive hook. If you had to have your personal sandpaper that you absolutely trust and love, and you knew that you had to have something on it.
That's us old school refinishers right here. You're set in your ways.
You're set in your way. You've got the blue tape.
I am that refinisher.
Yeah. You've got the blue tape. You would just wrap it in blue tape like that, and now you just get some adhesive, two-sided adhesive tape, and put your personal favorite sandpaper on there, and that's as simple as you can get with that.
Yeah. Okay. It's gonna add some work to it.
Yeah.
But and then every time you're gonna have to put new tape on it when you get new paper. But there you go. If that's what you want to do, by all means, like I said, it's the possibilities are really endless with this system.
Exactly. And if you still weren't comfortable with the metal being that close to wood, guess what? Go ahead and put a foam block there.
Yeah.
And
get it in. And we may when we get to working on this thing full time. We could definitely do that, for a final sand.
Yeah.
Yeah, get in there so that way it hits the flat sections and in the corners. But
this one's a bit too big for it, so I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to show that you could take the foam sanding block and just get right in there.
What if you did this?
Yeah.
I'm looking at you. I thought you were going to do it a different way.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's a little bit more flexible.
Yeah.
And you get it, like ours are a little more flexible than this one.
Yeah.
But you get it to fold up and fit inside of there.
Yeah.
And boom, like this one's a little thicker. Ours may
it's
actually do
more
that.
dense. More dense.
But if
foam,
you can see that, it holds.
It's
that hook and loop is
super sticky.
Yep. So we'll get to that afterward. But if you have any questions on this system, these tools, leave it down in the comments below. And if you want to order this, I will put the link down below in the comments. And like I said, we'll let Eric get cleaned up, and we're going to get out of here today. And like I said, thanks for coming, Eric. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much, Aaron.
I'll see you.
Thank you.